I believe, having been bathed in that mindset, we now have a country full of people who basically think that they can use accusations as a weapon with no consequence. And that is unbelievably destructive to our country.
Yeah, and those legal professionals who are being raised up through the system as a part of this whole lies and somebody else's truth. The story about the guys who are asking for a extension on their tests on their exams because
I'm so glad you went there on that. Yes.
Because they're emotionally distraught over the Michael Brown case.
Yeah, okay, what you're saying is that Columbia Law School, Harvard Law School, and one of the other big law schools,
it's mind-blowing.
They are granting their students an extension on time to take their finals because the students are claiming that they are so distraught over the Michael Brown and Eric Garner case. Think about that, people. These are like fourth-year law students. These are 22 and 23-year-old adults that are claiming that some legal process that happened to someone else entirely in an entire other state is affecting them to such an extent that they cannot study for and take a test in their chosen profession. Would you ever hire that person? Because if anything slightly strenuous happens, oh my God, they need their fainting couch. What a bunch of weenies.
And also, you don't want any person who would even use that excuse is a lawsuit waiting to happen in your business.
God, no kidding.
You don't want anybody like that. You don't want, look, I gotta be honest, I don't want any liberals in the workplace. They do all the suing, they make all the complaints. No, I'm serious. And those very few times that are where they're actually right and they're not lying, are crying wolf, because it's almost impossible to fire a liberal. You can fire a conservative for anything. You can fire a conservative because your food didn't agree with you at breakfast. You can fire a conservative for anything. It's just fun to fire conservatives. It's actually a sport now in several states. But you cannot, firing a liberal, good luck. It's lawsuits. It's no matter what group they're part of, they're going to use that. It's awful. And then you add to this that you've got somebody who's going to use this to try to delay tests and stuff like that. That means that they're always going to be aggrieved. No, I wouldn't hire them. I wouldn't go near them.
And it is again the lack of repercussions for anything they do. These people are so willing to cloak themselves in the mantle of victimhood. It doesn't even bother them to claim weakness or being victimized of something. I was raised that as a woman, I was as strong as any man, and I refused to be a victim. To me, feminism is not being a victim. And today's feminist is always a victim of everything. Apparently, it's become somehow a strength to be a victim, and it's a part of a larger truth to be a liar. And because there's no repercussions for pushing for any kind of advantage you can get, you might as well do it because the end justifies the mean. I mean, we're in a completely upside down world morally and ethically, and I don't even understand it. And I don't know how we get out of it.
Well, and it's been an irritant to me for years, too, about that flip with the feminists and that double standard, that women can do anything that men can do, and except they can't deal with some particular issues that send them into fits of rage or sobbing in the corner. It's insane, but what it seems to me is that feminism has now not become about the championing of what you can do and what you are able to do, but what you are entitled to do, and that other people should allow you to do regardless of your ability.
And what you can get for complaining about stuff?
Yeah, it's the easier way to gain a position or gain relevance or significance rather than accomplishing something. It's slapping the label of feminism on yourself and proclaiming that means people start bowing and scraping over particular issues.
Well, it's become better to protest than to produce.
there's not a downside to doing it, because what do you still see in places like Ferguson where things like this have happened? You still see people committed to a narrative regardless of some legal process that happened. And what the conversation turns to is the legal process is obviously flawed because it didn't give me the outcome I wanted.